Happy Wednesday. Some of you maybe saw my video with Winston. He looks like a totally different dog, I think. Okay, I'm just trying to check my computer here and my video's not coming up. Hard to get that guy to stay still for a picture too. That's the other problem, but oh my gosh. Hard to stay still for grooming apparently too, but my groomer did a great job for a first time with a struggling little puppy. Oh, good, there I am. All right. I don't hear any volume. Let's see. Oh, there we go, good. All right, seems fine. And a few people on. Hi guys. Thanks for joining me, and oops, wait, this is still on. No real announcements. We're halfway through Celebration though, and I do want to go over something real quick before I get to my card. This is my card. Looks super simple on the outside, right? Oh, thanks, Karen, about Winston. Oh, he's cute. All right, my card, super simple on the outside, but this is a pop-up gift card holder that looks like a little gift box on the inside. Okay, so we're just going to do this tonight because it's kind of involved, but let me go over something real quick. Like I was saying, we're halfway through Celebration, and I just want to show you something I was talking about with a customer concerning the starter kit. It's a good illustration of what you can get with the starter kit. So if you are placing a customer order and you liked all of this stuff, like in the gingerbread and peppermint suite, for example, pages 8 and 9 of the mini catalog, and you wanted to get the bundle for $48.50 and the DSP for $11.50, and then the Real Red ruffled ribbon for $8. There's another sheer Real Red ribbon for $7, and then maybe one more DSP. I came up with this list because it totals $90. Okay, and you would get one free with $50 Celebration item with that as well. And then you would pay shipping, which is $9, and then tax. And I'm using my tax rate, which is 6.5%. You would get to $105.44 would be your total. Okay, and you would have those items. So instead, if you wanted to get the starter kit, I just wanted to show you the difference. Because during Celebration, we have a really great special where on page 19 of the Celebration catalog, there's a list. I've also posted this, if you scroll back on Facebook, I've posted this list of bundles that you can choose for free with the starter kit. So you get a free bundle with the starter kit, and you get $125 worth of merchandise for $99, okay, which is where we were here after shipping, plus tax. Shipping is included with this. You don't have to pay a separate shipping charge. And your total would be $105.44. But what do you get? You get that first bundle. You can choose that as your freebie. And then you can get these same items that we had in this list. These total $41.50. And then on top of that, I just picked a few of my favorite things. You could get the pretty pillow box dies and the stamp set that I'm using all the time, Encircled in Warmth. I just tried to pick some things that are very popular. The Frightfully Cute stamp set and the Cute Halloween DSP. And all of those things, this group, and then all of these things come to $125 retail. Okay, and that is what you would get for $99 plus tax. So you would get this whole list plus your free bundle. And there's really no obligation to sell, and not even an obligation to buy anything further. If you do continue to buy as a demo, you have a discount. But any questions about that, please contact me at stampyourworld@gmail.com. We can set up a call to talk about that. I like to help people get that if you're interested. Okay. All right, guys, let's get to the card. Okay, so all the work is really on the inside. Let's just get to this box piece. I was inspired by, gosh, I saw a die a long time ago that kind of made that shape, and I just wanted to do it on my own. So I worked it out, and I am starting with, I sized it so that a gift card would fit in here, obviously. I'm using our, what is it, Peaceful Prints, I think. It's a free celebration paper, Peaceful Prints. And I'm starting with a piece that's 7.5 by 4.25. Okay, and on the 7.5 side, I'm going to score, the box sides are 1 3/4 inches wide, and it's square. So I'm going to start, first I'm going to make a 1/2 inch tab, and then I'm going at 2 1/4, 4, and 5 3/4. Okay, this is where, if you had a directional print, because I was practicing with directional prints, you would want to be careful and turn the bottom of your pattern, say this is the bottom, over to the left to make the box bottom over here. Okay, so the box bottom we're going to score at 1 3/4. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, 1 3/4 and 3.5. Okay. Now, because this is impossible to see on this plaid, I have drawn up, this is actually, okay, so my rectangle shape would fit this. This is where my score lines are, but I'm going to cut along some of those score lines, and I'm going to make a diagonal line. Obviously, that's not a score line. So let me get started, and I drew this up so you could see what I'm doing. Now, if you start to make these, what you're going to always be wondering is which way do the diagonals go? And the easy thing to remember is the middle two boxes, you take out a rectangle here. So these will not be diagonal. So you're going to cut a rectangle out, and then that kind of is the indicator of where then you know the diagonals have to be on the other side of that. Okay, because we're taking out this chunk, a whole rectangle. All right, and over on this side, I can already cut my diagonal. You could do this on a trimmer to be straighter. If you want, it doesn't really matter that much. Over here, I'm going to make a little tab. Instead of cutting straight in on that score line, I am going to wedge it just a little bit. And then here is where I need that other diagonal. All right. And then I am cutting away this tiny little rectangle that was left up here. Then for the box flaps, I'm going to cut in to the top score line so that these will become box flaps. All right. So let me start burnishing here. So you see I've made basically this shape. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. And burnish. Hi guys. Oh, these are the box flaps. They're actually going to flip back. And these will turn in like so. Okay, so this is what makes your box. Here's the sample. All right, couple other things we're going to get together for this inner panel, because we're actually gluing the box on top of this Whisper White piece. I have, let me see my pieces here. A Whisper White piece and a little 1/2-inch plaid strip that I'm going to use for my card insert. And I've got a Sahara Sand base, just a regular 5.5 by 8.5, scored in half at 4 1/4 base. And let me go ahead and stamp that before I get too far. I'm using another stamp from Encircled in Warmth. Actually, the stamp on the front, Let It Snow, is also from here. I think I've used all of these a ton. Probably sick of it. I'm not sick of it. You're probably sick of me talking about it. All right. So my greeting, I'm going to put off to the side a little bit here because my box is going to be kind of up in the left corner. And I've already got this set up on my Stamp-A-Majig mat so that I can get a nicely placed stamped image. And that aside so I don't get red ink everywhere. Go ahead and stick this down. I'm really crooked on that bottom strip. Oh, not really. That'll be okay. That's not important to what we're learning. Okay. Okay, so the box is going to be tucked in there and it collapses. And then there's a little strip that holds the gift card in there too. So let's get that worked out. This is a 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch strip, and it's already scored in half at 2 3/4, and then it's also scored a 1/2 inch from each end. Okay, this is going to make my little, kind of like a little sleeve for the gift card. And the gift card really, you know, because it's 3/4 inches wide, it really doesn't want to come out easily. So even though you flip this thing closed and open it, it's pretty sturdy in there. Okay, so our box pieces. We are going to attach this tab to this side of the box, and I like to do that with liquid glue because that makes a really nice strong bond once it's dry. And I like to do this flat. I like to assemble my 3D things flat where possible because then they end up very true to square when you're done. Okay, so now I've got this kind of like a funny looking shape here with these little pointy ends. These are going to tuck into the card along the fold. But before we do that, I want to put this piece in because it's going to be hard to reach in there after this is assembled. So I'm putting those little triangles back, and then I've got this is kind of like a T shape right now. These little tabs are going to fit up in this corner and attach to the sides of the box sides in there. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on each of those tabs, okay, on each side. And then they're going to stick to adjacent box sides. And I'm putting them in on the corner where our little seam is, okay, that tab end of the box. Okay, so I'm going to fold that all flat and tuck this in there and just put it a little above the box bottom and let that glue stick a minute. Okay, so you see, if you're looking inside here, do you see how that works? As the box is going to be pulled into shape, this sleeve will fill the width of the diagonal there. Okay, do you see that? And when the box flattens out, the card is pulled to this side of the box. All right, so when you assemble your card, you do have to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and slide this gift card in there. You do have to be careful that when closed, everything will be concealed. Okay, so we've got the box kind of like in this position now, and don't worry too much about the box flaps at this moment. But these diagonal ends need to tuck right up to the fold. And everything that's laying flat here needs to be concealed. All right, so you're planning that way. That's why your box ends up in this, like kind of in the corner. All right, so I am just going to put glue on both sides of these weird little triangle pieces that are sticking down. Glue or, you know, like tear and tape or something stronger. I would say stronger than your regular seal. Okay, and again, make sure the footprint fits within the card, and you're pushing those diagonals right up to the fold. And then you're going to close this down and let that dry a second. I don't have my big blocks are upstairs. I have to use a smaller block. And in the meantime, here, let's get some weight on that too. In the meantime, let's figure out what we need for the front here. I've got real red cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and then a piece of the DSP from that same collection that measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Thanks, Connie. I play with paper a lot. Okay, this is a great use of these snowflakes. The snowflakes come in a pack like this. They're on sheets. I just had 2 cut away here. You do want to separate them kind of carefully. I just pull gently to make sure to free each tip. And it's nice because they're already made. You don't have to poke out all those chads and, you know, deal with an intricate die. You can save this and cut other things from that kind of pearlescent paper that's in between the snowflakes. Okay, I already heat embossed Let It Snow and cut it out with a Tasteful Labels die. So all I did here was kind of like figure out how I wanted this positioned. And then once I was happy, my dimensionals, I lock this down with a dimensional and then put another dimensional here for my greeting. And then I used this Simply Elegant trim that comes in gold and silver. I've got a freezing up, so hopefully my phone isn't. Just assume we're good. I thought that was all fixed. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bow in here and some rhinestones. Okay, and that will be our card front. Okay, so let's see how we did now with our insert here. Okay, so this is the one we just made, and voila, it pops up and the card is held. I mean, you can shake it out, but it's not going to come out like super easily. It is kind of locked into that little sleeve, enough so that you can open this and close it, you know, without worry. Okay, so I think that's so cute. This could be a birthday present. It could be, you know, any kind of papers and stamps. So last thing to do, and I just fold those box flaps so when the card opens, they're going the right direction. Last thing to do is just attach the card front. Oh wow, this is actually much shorter a project than I thought, but this is all I have for today. But I think one of those things that's more impressive than it is hard once you know what to do. Okay, so I'll have these pictures and dimensions on my website tomorrow. Maybe I'll put this Facebook Live, since it's not too long, onto YouTube as well, so it's easier to reference later. But there you have it. Oh no, lost video. Is anybody else still there? Sorry, Candy. Did everybody lose video? I might have to just refilm this for YouTube. Thanks. Thank you. All right. Oh, it came back. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week. Don't forget, if you have any questions about that starter kit deal, I would love to help you get that. Just contact me at stampyourworld@gmail.com, and we can set up a call to answer any questions you might have. Okay, I think that's it. Have a good evening. Good night, guys.